Hello, everyone. Happy Christmas. I hope you are all holly, jolly, delightful, excited, and think because we have presents. As those of you who've been around for a while know, we're doing Advent this month, and today is the last day of Advent. We have a calendar and everything. It's one of these little kid calendars, but instead of chocolates, we're getting rocks. We're doing geology because science for Christmas. Hell yeah. So let's open up our last little door real quick to open the show with. And inside it's very smooth and I can't get my nails around it. One of these, which it's a little pinky. It's pinkish. It's fancy. It is rose quartz. Nothing particularly special, but it's pink and it's neat. Most everybody's familiar with rose quartz, which is good because the descriptions in this thing are terrible. So that's all 24. We're going to do a thing on a different day when we're not doing holiday stuff, going through, showing off the whole collection and looking up what the rocks actually are, because it'll be fun. But you were here for the exciting conclusion. Now, for those of you who are joining us for the first time, this mega stream we're doing, it's a relay race for all of us. But it's especially for people who are feeling alone at this ostensibly festive time of year. For those of you who are new, this channel is aggressively inclusive. And by that, I mean diverse individuals like queer people, brown people, non-believers, GSRM folk of all hues aren't just tolerated, but welcome. Unless you're a bigot yourself or try to hurt others, then you can get wrecked. We do this show every weekday at 11 a.m. Eastern, but this particular show is for the holiday thing. We do a bunch of other shows too. This show is mostly about non-political, often science-based topics. We like to learn things. We like to explore ideas. This is the chill stream. We do cover the politics and shit. I do 2 bonus shows, Transfactual and In Other News. One, of course, pertaining to trans and intersex issues, covering those stories in a way that the cis media doesn't really look at. And In Other News for news stories that are getting lost in the stream of bullshit flooding our news outlets these days. I do other random streams too. So if you're new here and you're into that kind of thing, do take a minute to hit the subscribe button. But today, we're going to look at some stories about aggressive inclusiveness, especially pertaining to the holidays, which to me is the entire point of what we're doing here today. So why not do that? Before we begin, I am joined, as often I frequently am. That came out different in my head. It's fine. I'm joined by Trades, mother of dragons and harlot extraordinaire. How are you on this holly jolly holiday, Lil?
I am okay. I'm kind of iffy about the next 36 hours because I've got so many streams going on, but we'll see how it goes.
There is a lot afoot. We will be back tomorrow at the same time for the Christmas Day special. And before that is Java and Jugs, which Lil and I are both cast members on, along with Ryan Coltastic, Kelly, the atheist queen of Detroit, who also sometimes joins us here, AJ from Ways to Human, Bree from Hive Sci, Maya from Bad Science Sunday, Jess from How to Rule an Asteroid. That might be everyone, and my apologies if I'm forgetting someone. There are a lot of us, and any of us may show up. You never know. It'll be a surprise. It'll be a Christmas surprise. And on that note, I have a Christmas surprise for y'all. First of all, pure coincidence, but today is my day 666. It's my legal day 666. It's when I got the legal paperwork back, officially changing my name to Ember. So I've been legally Ember for 666 days. And
Nice.
It's just a weird quirk, but it's interesting that it's today. Now, I also have a present for the rest of the world. I want to show you something over on the Ember store. And I'm not going to do a capitalism on this one. I just want to show you this. So first we're going to the website betterthanember.com, where I keep all the links, all my links on the front page, people you can help, community members in need on the help page, links to gender science stuff, trans biology, sex sport myth stuff, intersex science, all that stuff on the gender science page, resources for GSM people or cis allies, and a list of all the creators who are of a skeptical humanist flavor, including all the hosts of Java and Jugs, as well as people who may pop by on this show. And at the very end, the Ember store. Now, what I actually want to show you is this new item, fresh today. Well, last night, but today. It's a Survivor's mug. The person who gave me this version of my logo, and let me just check back over here. Okay, it is displaying properly. The person who gave me this version of my logo made public statements promoting violence against minority women and survivors of abuse. Fuck that person. Now their gift is going to do some good instead. 100% of the proceeds from the sales of this item will go to fund the nonprofit organization RAIN. That's hold on, I have the breakdown. It is, God damn it, why is it not listed? The Rape, Abuse, and Incest Survivors National Network. I'm pretty close. Anyway, sales from this will go to support RAIN's efforts to support survivors and build a future where fewer of us need that kind of help. So, huzzah.
You've already sold one, at least.
I haven't even promoted the damn thing yet. This is the first the world is hearing about it, and it's already gotten at least one sale. Possibly more.
So I wonder who that could have been.
I can't imagine.
No.
But I wanted to put that out there because one of the things I like to do is when people turn hostile, harmful, toxic, destructive, I like to do my best to take that energy and turn it into a more positive direction. And in this case, it was super easy, barely an inconvenience. After that person flipped over to become a conspiracy cultist, trying to hurt women as hard as they can, that person started coming after some members of the community, throwing hands about art that they had gifted in earlier in the year or previously. And that reminded me that they'd sent me unsolicited art before too, for the purpose of putting in my merch store. So this was just right there. I just did it.
If it's a gift, it is a gift. You don't get to claim take backsies.
Yeah. Similarly, the various events that triggered all of that nonsense, I'm working with the people from RAIN and others to try to put together a show focused on how to actually help survivors rather than attack other survivors, rather than talk over survivors to center yourself as some kind of white knight hero and then hurt other people. How can you actually support survivors? And so that's forthcoming. I want it to be productive. I want it to be positive. There's a thing I learned a long, long time ago, and I believe Sun Tzu says something to the same effect, that your enemy will always give you the tools you need to defeat them. When a person comes at you with hate and hostility and destructive intent, by the very act of their aggression, they're handing you the ammunition you need to stop them with. This is the central premise of the Japanese martial art Aikido. You use the enemy's momentum against them. You use the enemy's mass against them. You use their maneuvers against them. It's reactive in nature, but it's almost perfect self-defense, because it's only the people who try to hurt you who get hurt, and it's their own efforts that determine how badly they get hurt. And that's pretty fucking neat. Now, we are going to get into our stories in just a moment, but I have to turn my heater down because I'm starting to melt like a fucking candy cane. Incidentally, I have over here the LGBT candy canes. I was going to hang them up on the thing, but I ran out of time. It's fine. But I have to turn the heater down. So I'm going to play you a quick video about what happens when we don't push back on the hateful idiots trying to make the world worse. Enjoy.
I have a problem with this stuff being normalized across the spectrum, and specifically, like, why push this on kids? Why introduce this to kids?
I am a depraved wretch. I am a great sinner. I'm a worm, completely undeserving of any love or any grace. I'm nothing. I'm nothing.
You're incapable of being a good person. You're an evil person. You're a terrible person. At the core fabric of who you are. That's why we need laws. We need laws because we're bad people. All of us are bad people.
You can't spell Pride Month without demon. PRIDEMONTH.
If we don't know who the women are, because they are just people, then we won't be able to pull the women up to equality with men.
We have to try to limit the harm. And that means reducing or keeping down the number of people who transition. And that's for two reasons. One of them is that every one of those people is a person who's been damaged. But the second one is every one of those people is basically, a huge problem to a sane world.
Transgenderism must be eradicated.
The LGBT, transgender, grooming our children's minds is a national security threat. We need to hold people for treason, start having some public hearings, and start executing people.
I will use whatever gives me victory. I don't care about the truth, and I don't care about the law. I care about one thing, the control.
But then they rigged the election, and now we won, so I'm going to be your president.
Then what happened is they rigged the election, and I became president, so that was a good thing.
I agreed with many, many things you said during, in fact, probably more than most other candidates when you were running for president, but I still would not have voted for you because you're an Indian.
I just want to say I feel good about the Republican Party. I feel good about where we're going as a nation. We're killing all the right people and we're cutting your taxes.
It was actually a tremendous blessing to these children for them to be killed and go to heaven and be with God.
We've been hoodwinked. We've been taken in by an ideology crafted by creeps and then pushed on children.
Stop letting people pressure you into thinking.
If they die, they die.
I want to be ignorant, honestly.
Being a Christian doesn't exclude us from experiencing spiritual dryness.
We're bad people. All of us are bad people.
Happy Christmas indeed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, watch out for that spiritual dryness.
You're right. My goodness. The spiritual dryness is intense, folks. That's why it's important to have an epic water fill. We'll do that ad later. Probably. We'll see. It's a holiday, so we'll do it if it comes up. Thank you all for joining us. It's lovely to see so many folks here. Dr. Kip is here saying bigots and grifters get ridicule and shame for Christmas. As well they should. Hell yeah. Made computer scientist says Lilith. I loved her in Jewish mythology.
What can I say? I get around.
That's right. And a bunch of our other friends are also going to be here. Let's see. Kelly King, the Detroit Atheist Queen, talking about Bumblebee, who also both have shows. Lil and Kelly are doing a show in the mega stream later. Bree from Live from the Hive is gonna be doing a show later. Ryan follows this show. Like there's so many of us. We're infested with fabulous women, and there's nothing anyone can do about it. Jenny M sends us a super chat for $1.99. Thank you, Jenny. And says, Christmas sucks, but never swallows. Which is just rude. Wasteful, even.
Just to let everyone know, mine and Kelly's stream is on at 2 a.m. Central Time tonight and tomorrow night. 2 a.m. Don't know why we decided to do that, but we did.
So 3 a.m. for normal
Mhm.
people. Yes. You both are in Central Time, aren't you? Interesting.
No, she should be in Eastern. I think, yeah, she is Eastern. I've got a friend that lives up there.
Is Detroit an Eastern? It's way the fuck over for being an Eastern. I mean, maybe it is.
Well, where I used to live in Indiana, there's like 6 counties of Indiana that are in Central, and the rest of it is all Eastern. So
Yeah, because
and-
Chicago is in Central. It's like I don't know why the fuck they did that. It's like they
It's
moved
like right there on
Eastern
the line.
so that
Yeah.
all of Indiana could be together, but then those 6 counties identify as a suburb of Chicago more than as part of Indiana, so they moved it again so they could be part of Chicago's time zone or something. Time
Yeah,
zones are
and
stupid. We need
it's all
planetary time.
broken up through southern Indiana. There's a few time zones there. Indiana baffles me. I lived there for 3 years and I still don't understand it.
No
My
one
mom-
understands Indiana. Oh goodness.
My mother could not remember where I live. She's like, it's one of those ice states, and I'm like, yeah, because there's Illinois, Iowa, and Indiana all right
Indiana.
there in a row.
They chain together, don't they? That's interesting. Made Computer Scientist sends us a super chat for 256, of course. Thank you. And says Lebanon bologna, which we Americans pronounce weird. Potato bread for all. Fair enough. That sounds like the makings of a sandwich. And as we know, sandwiches are the greatest gift humanity gave to other humans.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, folks, the aliens, when they show up, they're going to have fusion technology. They're going to have lasers. They're going to have every kind of alloy you can think of. The technology that they will want from us is sandwiches, because I guarantee you they will not have come up with deli meats.
Yes, but the question is for you, is a hot dog a sandwich?
Yes. I mean,
Okay,
it depends on how you define sandwich. Some people would say a taco, but I would argue that a taco is also a sandwich. There is such a thing as an open-faced sandwich, right? And it doesn't matter if you bend the bread around, it's still an open-faced sandwich.
Yeah, because I do bread all the time. So.
Mm-hmm. And
Stop
if
making
you
me
can
hungry.
wrap it up,
You're
you
making me
started
hungry
it.
again.
You
Yeah,
started it.
You mentioned sandwiches, so.
I mentioned the concept of sandwich. Never mind. Keep your hot dog for the after show. Maya's here, also doing a show in the mega stream. Later on, there's going to be a Bad Science Christmas, probably. I'm actually it may just be a Maya's show. It happens. It's Maya's channel. Sometimes it's just Maya, and it's not about bad science. So, stick around and find out. This show, of course, will automatically take you over to Ryan's show, so you can continue. If you're watching via the playlist, which Ryan also has, then it'll autoplay. You can continue. But on the off chance that forwarding does not work for you, the link to Ryan's is pinned at the top of the chat. So if you don't get forwarded for whatever reason, some devices it doesn't work, you can just click on the thing and keep following along with the stream. We are going to go slightly later than usual. Normally I keep this show to around 90 minutes. Sometimes we go a little over, but today we're doing a full 2 hours so that we can hand directly off to Ryan, so y'all don't have to twiddle your thumbs waiting for the next show to start. So yeah. Let's see. I see Titan being all official and whatnot. Oh, these freaking handles, they ruin everyone's names. It's so rude. It's so inconsiderate. How dare. All right, I'm just trying to catch up because there's so many of y'all, and I do appreciate y'all being here. That's fantastic. Yeah, LGBTQ candy canes. They're actually Smarties. They were on sale earlier in the year for like $2, and I'm like, yoink, because my son loves candy canes and also loves Smarties. So yeah, I may like them too. I don't know. I haven't had candy canes since I had my dental surgery a couple of years ago because I couldn't used to eat candy. It hurt my teeth a lot. And so I've been gradually trying more candies because I haven't had them in years and years. So I don't know. So maybe I'd like them too. Maybe we'll find out. It'll be fun. Bree says, I've been doing this TV channel slipping thing for 5 years now. I did not copy Ember. That's an excellent point. I copied Robot Chicken. It's Bree's been doing it a lot longer than I've even been on YouTube. But like, don't assume people are copying other people. It's not just rude, but usually wrong. Like there were a few times I was accused of copying other people for stuff when I was doing totally different stuff than they were doing, but it's all good. Robin says, this is the best Ember. I hope you mean the flavor of the show, because while I'm trying to be festive, I have to admit this is not the best Ember. I'm trying to be a better Ember every day, but I have not slept well. My housemates were very loud all night long. One went to bed at like 3 a.m. and another got up at 4 a.m. and decided to clean the house.
Oh my God.
Thump,
No.
thump, 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 thump. Fucking shoot. So I am a very sleepy Ember, but thank you all for being here. Oh goodness. I think, I am just not going to catch up.
Yeah, like
too long.
This is the thing that I hate about Christmas is like there's a lot of people who are like, "Ooh, it's snowing. There's snow on the ground." It is 70 degrees outside and I'm having to run my AC on Christmas Eve. Welcome to Texas.
I mean, I usually this past year I didn't even have to put an AC in my window. I've had to run heaters all year. That's why my heater died a few weeks ago. So those of you who are new aren't aware, there's a whole fucking saga. My room has to be heated because even though there's heating in the house, it doesn't extend into my room. And because the AC is so ridiculous in here, there's central AC, but only for the downstairs. So when the people upstairs feel warm in the summer, they turn the AC up, but it only cools the downstairs. So they turn the AC up more and so it's fucking freezing down here. So I have to run the heater all summer. And because my heater's been running for over a year straight, it burned out. And then a very generous, lovely, wonderful, amazing person sent me a heater. And it's an amazing heater. It is wonderful. It does a fantastic job. But occasionally I have to turn it down because it does such a fantastic job.
I think because I have an AC and I also have like a little space heater for my office. I think I've used a space heater once, and that's when it like dropped to like below freezing for like a few, like for like a day or two here. But that's like about as cold as it ever gets. I mean, I've only had 2 white Christmases, and they were both back to back here, which was odd.
It's wild. Purple asks, and Purple is the one who organized this whole relay race. So if you have a problem with the structure, talk to Purple. But also thank Purple, because this is a tremendous amount of work to set this kind of stuff up. And on top of that, there was drama. And Purple had to do like crazy amount of extra work to fix it's a whole thing. So thank Purple. Take a minute and thank Purple.
Purple is awesome.
Purple says, as I asked on the last stream, if I drop a piece of bread on the ground and someone in Australia drops a piece of bread on the ground, is the entire planet then a sandwich? The entire planet is already a sandwich because, as we mentioned earlier, open-faced sandwiches are a thing. So as long as there is a piece of bread anywhere on the surface of the earth, the whole earth is an open-faced sandwich. And I have pieces of bread right over there. So
I have some right there.
Titan says, but if you have to use the descriptor open face, is it even really a sandwich? I mean, it's in the name. So I'm going to go with that. Oh, goodness. Oh, fuck. Mad computer scientist says, hold on, let me consult the place to get all of the answers. Chat GPT.
Yee.
My poor head. My poor head. Ah. All right. Jester dropping a $5 super chat. Thank you, Jester. And Jester says, or is a sandwich a taco? Why are we preferring the European invention when the other is probably older? Either way, Merry Crimsbus, ya goofs. I like to say Happy Christmas, partly because of the Victorian thing. Like that was the tradition at the time, was to say Happy Christmas. And because it irritates the people who don't actually listen to what you're saying, but only pay attention for buzzwords to get upset about. They hear the happy part and assume you said happy holidays because they're not actually listening. And then they go into a meltdown about the fact there's other holidays this time of year. And it's hilarious, especially when you just point out that you said happy Christmas and they weren't listening. Then some of them feel embarrassed. But it's fun either way. Oh, goodness. Bum. Paddington says December. That's right, it's my month. Y'all are welcome. I share. Actually, the whole back half of the year. September, October. Oh, no, not Ober. Ober doesn't work, but November. I'm pirating the whole calendar. Hey, Caesar did it. Why the fuck can't I? It's fine. Oh, let's see. I'm almost to the end. We're getting there. I mean, I could just like, yeah. Paddington says, Ember, vaping is bad for your health. It's a context thing. Compared to smoking 3 packs a day, it's considerably better for my health. And I haven't had a cigarette in just a few more days. It'll be 2 years. And you're muted, Lil.
Yeah, I was about to say 3 for me. So
we're changing the name of the show to Lil, you're muted.
I'm not good at this. I try, but
live broadcasting. It's one of the adventures of the whole thing. Theo says Lord Sandwich is still pissed in his grave that Ember didn't give him credit for the invention. I mean, I didn't try to take credit away from him. And also, is it really an invention? Like, you already have sliced deli meat and sliced cheese and sliced bread. You just stack the damn things up. Is it really an invention? What's that?
It's a concept.
I don't know. Maybe. Now, if there was like one definitive sandwich, like the original pizza, we know what makes an actual pizza. It's sliced tomatoes, basil, and mozzarella. No sauce. Just those things on bread. That was the original pizza. Which, incidentally, is probably an apocryphal story because that happens to be the colors of the Italian flag. But never mind that. Everything else is just sparkling garlic bread with extra toppings.
Garlic bread.
And if you want some garlic bread, we can help you out with that. If you're here for a good time. So Chris does commercials, we do products. Oh, and Lil has one. Look at that.
My dog slept on it last night. I was going to wear it this morning, and then somehow my dog found it.
Oh goodness, we have all kinds of things. We have a calendar with my own award-winning photography. Every single image in here has won awards, first or second place in some contest or other. And still, 2026 is right around the corner. So there's that. There's Jess from How to Rule an Asteroids design, Java and Jugs on a mug. And that, I think it's something like $3 from each sale goes to Jess. Something like that. Kip has opinions. Dog-shaped Kip. We have so much stuff in the Ember store. It's uncanny. We have the Protect Joy shirt, which I'm going to try to figure out how to connect to the Trevor Project so that sales from that will go directly to the Trevor Project, because that kind of shit's important. And while, you know, it's true, I'm not in great shape financially. I don't want to bring down the stream with my own woes and whatnot on Christmas and such, but things are not great. And help would be fantastic. There's ways you can help at the links below, betterthanember.com. You can Cash App or Venmo. I've been trying to work out a way to get it on stream that makes sense, but it's Ember Bell. Just my name, Ember, BEL on both things. And those are the fastest ways to get to, but you know, there's options. But there's these other things that matter too. That's the same reason I have on the website, there's that tab for helping community members, because I felt bad about not being able to show other community members in trouble because I happen to be in trouble, right? Like, it felt weird to be all like, oh, I can't put your fundraiser up there because I have to promote my fundraiser, and other people in the community who are like, I don't know whose fundraiser to promote. So I just made a page for all of us. So, you know, there's mine, of course, but there's also Bree trying to continue to exist. There's Dr. Ben's entire household trying to stay housed. Cosmic Kyle has, you know, he's a wonderful person. He's disabled. Like many of us, the federal government's recent moves have fucked him over severely. We're trying to help him continue to exist. A person, I don't even know Naomi. She's a person from Luxander's community, the Horties. Lux shouted her out, and so I'm like, send me the link. I'll put her on the list too, because, you know, we're all, even when we don't know a person, we're all part of the same community, right? So, you know, I thought I'd throw that out there. But anyway, the point is, I do, even though there's lots of people that need help, there's organizations that need help too. And I realize this is absolutely the wrong time of year to solicit people for help for nonprofits or anything else, because everyone is completely fucking broke. But spreading awareness is always a worthwhile thing. And when you can, if you can, do what you can. It actually does help more than you might think. Okay. That went on a lot longer than I expected it to, but that's okay. Stories. Yes, we have stories. I went and I dug up some stories. I found some cool stories, but before we begin the stories, I know I'm such a tease. I'm constantly like, we're about to do the thing, but before we do the thing, Lil, do you have any thoughts about Christmas stories? Because so many of them, they're about finding home, finding where you fit in, where you're welcome, where you're wanted. Do you have thoughts about this general subject?
I mean, I wish it was a little bit more about, yeah, it is about finding home, but I wish there were more about finding home and community among friends as opposed to family, because as we all know, like, some of our families are not so great. So I wish it was a little more focused. Oh no, it stuck in my hair.
Oh, poor Lil. You thought it was just gravity. It was all of physics attacking you.
Live broadcasting, yay. No, I wish it was more friends. I wish there were more things about finding community among friends, because especially like me being an only child, the only like direct family I have left is my mom and my 2 boys and my grandson. And that's it. So it's like we've got a really small little family, but I have like a ton of friends, especially here, which is why I'm on the stream, because I love being here.
Hell yeah. And that's sort of the point. Like I've always tried to be community positive. Like, you know, people aren't just tolerated, they're welcome. Like, shoot, Screw it. I was trying to real quick highlight all the super chat adjacent things that people have sent, and I can't scroll back far enough to get to all of them. I'll just have to do it on the YouTube page. It's fine. It's fine. But Maya sent us a $3 super sticker of a lemon character with the thumb. I'm sure it's adorable. I don't know why we get text descriptions. We're almost done with this software, folks. Just a couple of more days, and we'll be over on a completely different software, which pluses and minuses, I'll be able to customize a lot more, but we won't be able to do this because the other software, it only has tiny little QR codes, and that's just rude. So I don't know. Maybe I'll have to make like graphics I can flash on my own instead of just using a button built in the software. Anyway, appreciate it, Maya. Thank you so much. Claire View sent $2. Thank you. And says, Merry, Merry Ember. Yee. Let's holly jolly up in this bit.
One note real quick about the Jesus Likes to Watch shirt. They run a little bit small. Just FYI.
It sounds so weird and random, but that was the thing I just randomly put up on stream there. Oh my goodness. We have so much stuff. It's amazing.
And it's
like
all awesome.
Just a few months ago, I didn't even have a merch store. I used to have one, but I shut it down because it was chewing up effort and nothing was happening. But now we have a bunch of stuff. We started with the Tangents tee. I added a couple of stickers, including one that says "You are better than religion," so you can just stick it on whatever. The Yahweh Away Nil scented soy candle. Like, go to the Ember store and read the descriptions. Some of these are just descriptions, but some of them are hilarious, if I do say so myself. There's a bunch of stuff in there, and you know, some of them are the bare minimum I could possibly charge because I am very poor and I know what it's like to be very poor. So I try to make stuff as affordable as possible. But there is also stuff that I make a couple bucks on. It's not the best way to try to support me, but if you want stuff in return for your support, that's an opportunity. That's a way to do that. All right, now let's actually get to the stories. I have to enable the thing over here, and I don't want to have it like be full screen because we're pretty, and I went to this is the same Christmas outfit as last year. I kind of wanted to do a last year versus this year thing, which is why I'm wearing this. I have a different outfit for tomorrow. Hopefully it's some assembly required, and you'll see what I mean tomorrow. But I'm festive. And
I am not. I don't even own anything red. Like, red is not in my wardrobe at all.
Ooh. I could wear my provocative red shiny mock turtleneck thing instead of and then do what I had planned over it. That way, if there's a wardrobe malfunction, it won't get us demonetized immediately.
Ooh. Yes.
Maybe. I actually had the parts for this thing I want to do last year, but I didn't have the time to put it together in a way that would make sure it couldn't wardrobe malfunction. So we didn't actually do that, but it's fine. It's fine.
Now okay. You've got me intrigued.
Story time. Gather round, get your hot cocoa, roast your chestnuts or other assorted nuts, whatever your flavor nuts. I miss putting hot nuts in my mouth. No, truly. As I've mentioned on previous shows, there is a Dickens festival near where I live. They have like a full cast. They wear Victorian costumes. They wander around the streets of this village. They gather and sing Christmas carols, and it's fucking delightful. And one of the characters roasts chestnuts, and they just hand out chestnuts. And it's wonderful. They make great hand warmers. They make a great snack. It's just delightful. But I couldn't make it this year. The one day we could have potentially made it I had to take my son to the hospital. He had an intestinal infection. It's a whole thing, but we couldn't go. And also, it's very painful for me to travel long distances. And unfortunately, while that village is not that far away, it's beyond that range of what is now a long distance for me. So I just couldn't go, and I felt bad about it all year. Well, all December. Alas. But you know, we like we talked about yesterday. We have to work with what we can do and accept what we can't change. And it's you know. All right, story time. So that we're starting with the quintessential, the fundamental, the most iconic of all Christmas stories for people our age. Charlie Brown Christmas. One in the chat if you grew up watching this nonsense. Oh, it's wild. Okay, so the author starts out saying, like it or not, the holiday season is here. And most of these stories are from past years when things were actually brighter than they are now. But we'll work with what we've got. So like it or not, the holiday season is here, a time of cheer, of generosity and kindness. I'm going to pop this out so I can keep both windows open at the same time, so I can kind of keep half an eye on what the hell is going on, just in case. The author writes, as a gay man living in America, the spirit of Thanksgiving and joy feels at odds with reality. Displays of cruelty hidden behind the very values of Thanksgiving and Christmas find a place in my news and social media feeds. Recently, the editor at Prism and Pen prompted me to share my perspective as a gay man experiencing the tension between cruelty and the season's theme of joy, gratitude, and thanks. The real spirit of the season, everyone living fully and celebrating life with joy and gratitude. I'm challenged when I witness cruel attacks on the rights and presence of my queer brothers and sisters. Certain holiday moments are timeless and shape how generations have celebrated the season. In the 1960s, animated TV specials captured the Christmas spirit and became instant classics. Of course, by the time many of us showed up, they were classics in the traditional sense and that they were very old. Decades later, those characters remain storytellers of the season, bridging generations in this time of CGI and AI-generated images. Charles Schulz's 1965, that makes this the 60th anniversary, A Charlie Brown Christmas, stands out as one of the most iconic of these holiday programs. 60 years later, it is a cherished tradition for me and countless others. Schultz distills the true meaning of the season in less than 30 minutes. Beneath the surface, its simple message speaks to the experiences of queer people. It does. Bear with us here. Charlie Brown lives with stubborn hope, even when nothing seems to go his way. His optimistic friends help him to see a better tomorrow. I carry a bit of Charlie Brown with me as I try to stay hopeful in the face of cruelty. A Charlie Brown Christmas offers lessons and hope for queer people to find joy in the holidays in the face of unkind words and actions. A quote from the film. I think there must be something wrong with me, Linus. Christmas is coming, but I'm not happy. I felt this in my bones yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, Ember, you love holidays. Why? Why aren't you fucking thrilled? Why aren't you ecstatic and like finding wreaths in garages or something and just decorating like a crazy person and just all the things because I love holidays. Why was I feeling this way? What was going on? Because while things did get really bad in the middle of December, pertaining to the thing I mentioned earlier, which is why there's now a cup that supports the Rape and Abuse Survivors Network, things got really dark. That was as close to self-deletion as I've gotten in at least 666 days. Turns out getting daily attacks from cruel people trying to hurt you fucks up your mental state a little. Who could imagine? But I've mostly gotten over it. I'd gotten past it. I'm like, those people are stupid. We're doing good things. The community is still with it. You know, like I was mostly past it and I was feeling better. But yesterday was different. It wasn't I was feeling bad because of those reasons. I wasn't even necessarily feeling bad. I just didn't feel joyful, even though I had the expectation that I should feel joyful. So let's dig into that a little, shall we? So Charlie Brown's words are a holiday feeling familiar to many queer people. What are planned as joyful celebrations with family and friends can become emotional battlegrounds. Belonging depends on being able to live authentically. Sometimes these gatherings require navigating judgments and subtle slights, both intentional and not. It's that uneasy feeling of not fully belonging when being honest or showing your true self feels risky. I cling to stubborn hope, like Charlie Brown, hanging on to the spirit of Christmas when it seems distant. Living authentically in the spirit of the season leaves no room for judgment. True happiness comes from refusing to let others' unhappiness shape your own. Another quote from the film. Charlie Brown, you're not the only person I know who can take a wonderful season like Christmas and turn it into a problem. That's Lucy, of course. Lucy Van Pelt embodies the confident, strong-willed, and outspoken women who have been my closest female friends in my gay life. Again, the author writes, although my closest friends have for most of my life mostly been strong women. Go figure. I imagine Lucy growing up. Is this why there's a meninist movement? Is this why there's the men's rights and the red pills and whatnot? Because everyone is friends with women.
Yes.
The other women, the gay men, like no one wants to be friends with the cis hetero white boys. What up? Maybe it's a them problem. I don't know.
It is a them problem.
I imagine Lucy growing up in the midst of a circle of witty, gossipy gay men, feeding on her sharp wit and brashness. Lucy reveals the subtle threads of cruelty that surface during the season of goodwill to all. I've seen this firsthand. As a gay man, the author writes, early in my relationship with my husband, I'm single. The author writes, our family struggled to acknowledge us. I remember a lesbian friend being excluded from her family's Christmas after coming out just 2 weeks before the holiday. In partial fairness, that's really bad timing. But when is a good time, though?
Yeah.
And also, it shouldn't be a thing.
No. No, it really it shouldn't. I mean, this is part of the reason why, especially with me being an only child, and my parents always supported me, but I made sure my boys knew from a young age that it did not matter if they're it doesn't matter if they're LGBT, it doesn't matter if they're what religion they are, it doesn't matter. Like, they are always going to be my son, and I am always going to love them, and I hammered that home every chance I got. I mean, they need to know that I'm going to be here. I'm not going to disown them because we have a difference in opinions that don't really affect anything.
Well, I mean, it's not even opinions in this case. It's who you are, right? It's like, it's so stupid. It's so, to put it into context, it's like my older daughter, who is my youngest from my first marriage. She came home from school super embarrassed, and she would not talk about what the problem was. It turns out the problem was she had started having like the precursor signs of pubertal onset, which is to say spotting. And she'd gotten it into her head that everyone would hate her because she was starting puberty too early. She was going to need pads or tampons and have to have the talk, and like no one and she'd just be a big burden. And it's like, girl, my dear, my darling, that's part of the body that you have. That's a thing. You didn't choose it. It's not a decision. It's like having a toothache, right? And or growing boobs. Oh no, now I have to buy bras. All these different things. You choose when you tell people who you are, but you don't choose who you are. You know?
I mean, yeah, there's nothing about my boys and who they are that could ever that could ever make me just walk away. I would not do that. And I wanted them to know that they always have family with me. I mean, I don't care what the rest of my family does. They're mine. So yeah, I'm going to accept them as they are.
Yeah, that's sort of my general philosophy too, is I try to be, like I said at the beginning, aggressively inclusive. I will fiercely rage at your dumbass if you're a right winger. But I won't hate you because you happen to be a gay right winger. I won't hate you because you happen to be a Christian right winger. It's your politics I have in it. Now, to be clear, I do think religion is always harmful, but there's levels of harm. Vaping is harmful, but there's levels of harm, and as long as it's just affecting you, as long as we share the same values, fuck it. We have bigger issues to deal with. Holy shit. Oh my goodness. It's a thing. It's a thing. All right, we will continue on here. This season brings challenges that can't be overlooked, but must be met with the true spirit of the holidays. Queer people can carry emotional pain into this time of year. Technically, everyone can. Everyone can feel othered and outsidered and whatever. Whether you're saying, Mom, Dad, I'm a lesbian, or Mom, Dad, I'm dating a brown-skinned man, or Mom, Dad, I don't think I believe in God anymore, or Mom, Dad, I don't think I believe in the Easter Bunny anymore. Whatever it is, you shouldn't get excluded from your entire fucking family because of something that's true. All that shows is that the family, A, believes something that is not true and puts continuing to believe a thing that they are aware is not true. We call that lying. They put lying ahead of the people they claim to care about, which makes them double liars. But it still hurts for the people who get left out.
Yeah.
Empathy. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, it's I mean, with my family, me and my youngest son, we're the only atheists in my family. And it's one of those that my mom was even like, do you guys even do Christmas? I'm like, I do Christmas as a family holiday. Yeah, it's just there's no religious connection with me in that. And she was just like, okay, so you guys are going to do Christmas? It's like, yeah, we're going to do Christmas. It's a family thing. Don't exclude us just because we don't believe your religion. We're still here.
And the Jewish people who do Christmas, because it's a cultural thing. I mean, hell, every as many channels have covered in the last few weeks, every single part of Christmas is stolen from pagan traditions. Every bit of it is adopted or appropriated or inherited or imported or whatever the case may be. So holy shit.
Yeah.
you're not celebrating anything Christian by celebrating Christmas. It's just a name that people know the holiday by, you know?
Yeah, and I mean, even then, like, even many, many years ago when I was Christian, I still didn't look at Christmas as a quote unquote Christian holiday because it was so commercialized by that point that it's like Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is not a Christian holiday, it's more of an American holiday, you know, or whatever. Like, it's just, but the thing is this is why I say happy holidays, because if I greet somebody on the street, I don't know if they're celebrating Christmas, Hanukkah, Yule, I don't know what they're celebrating. So happy holidays kind of covers it all. And yes, I've gotten some snarky ass comments about it, but I'm snarky to them right back. So
it's oh my goodness. I could go on and on and on and on and on about all of that. My goodness. Okay. My brain is doing the thing where multiple things are trying to come out at once. So instead, I'll just go back to the story. Otherwise, we'll never finish the fucking thing. So empathy is recognizing that everyone carries their own burdens. When we respond to discomfort with kindness, we allow wonder to grow. I could do a whole sermon on just that sentence. That is an amazing sentence. This is why this person works for, who do they work for? Medium. I realize Medium is basically Substack, where you just write stuff and people who want to support you send you money. But like, this is why. That is a fucking sentence. When we respond to discomfort with kindness, we allow wonder to grow. That's a great fucking message, especially this time of year. Research shows, now we're going to go straight into the science. Hell yeah. Maya points out that is a bad definition of empathy. That, yes, which is why I focused on the other sentence. Research shows that queer people often experience heightened loneliness, rejection, and mental health challenges during the holidays. In fact, everyone does. It's much, much worse for queer people than, say, cisgender heterosexuals, for example. But we're not the only ones, and that doesn't mean it never happens for your basic vanilla flavored Christians either. It's part of the holiday experience, is feeling alone, feeling excluded, feeling left out, feeling unwanted. And that is why the calls to every suicide prevention hotline spike today. That's why this relay race of a marathon stream is here, because Purple and the people who are doing shows and people who are supporting and people who are spreading the word, all of these people want people to feel like, to know there is a place where they're welcome, where they're wanted, and where they'll be missed if they didn't stick around.
Yeah.
You know? And that means a lot. It means a lot to me. And I'm going to get upset, so I'm going to go back to the story. God damn it, Ember, why are you like this? Acknowledging the struggles others face opens a path for them to rediscover the hope and magic that Lucy speaks of. A quote from the film: "Of all the Charlie Browns in the world, you are the Charlie Brownest." And that's a thing. That's a great quote, because it says two things. The first is the surface level thing, that Charlie Brown is like, it's a type. It's the person who constantly fails, who never kicks the fucking football, who's always tricked by the Lucys, gets talked down to by the peppermint patties, never comes to the right conclusion, but hangs on to hope anyway. But also, there's the deeper level that whatever you think about you're the only person who can be you. Without you, who's going to be you? We need you to be here being you. That's hard to articulate into words that make sense. But if you watch us back later, maybe get a little high first. You might catch what I'm putting down. Linus stands out as the philosophical and empathetic member of the Peanuts gang. He is the voice of reason, kind of, and offers wisdom beyond his years, sometimes. Charles Schultz, the creator, undoubtedly created Linus to teach and connect across generations through the innocent words of a child. Well, it's a little more complicated than that, but it's based on a comic strip, but details. They put a lot of philosophy in comic strips. I don't know if you've ever noticed, but like Calvin and Hobbes is literally just philosophy in cartoon form.
Mm-hmm.
It's right there in the fucking title, but never mind. Linus recognizes that Charlie Brown is fully and undeniably himself. He affirms Charlie Brown's authenticity when others fail to see its value. And that's the thing, is these people who claim all human lives have value decide they don't value people when you don't have a certain characteristic that they deem superior. Or like to exile your children, to tell them, I value all life. I'm, anti-abortion even. I'm so pro-life, but not your life.
Mm-hmm.
You, my child, whom I said I would always love no matter what, you're the wrong kind of person. Get out. It's all the hypocrisy. It's so painful. So that affirmation mirrors the experience of coming out as a queer person, where we choose to live truthfully, even when that truth isn't welcome.
Mm-hmm.
You were about to say something?
Yes, I was, and my ADHD brain totally forgot about it. I don't remember.
Delete.
That's one thing is like my mom finally said, she's like, because both my sons are extremely ADHD, and she's like, are you? And I'm like, how have you not noticed? You know me for 40 years. Yes, very much so. I love my mom,
I don't
but she's a
know.
little bit of a dick.
Okay. In fairness, I've been open as a person to literally unsafe levels on this channel, because one of the reasons I'm here is so that people like me who feel alone can see there are other people like them. When I was growing up, I was just a freak. Like there was no one like me around me. Every time I saw someone on television depicted as being similar to me in any of those ways that made me feel like a freak, I was told by adults that's just fiction. That doesn't really exist.
Mm-hmm.
It was not super helpful. I realize there's more people than ever on the internet who share many of these characteristics. But one of the reasons I'm here, and one of the reasons I'm so open about so many things, and one of the reasons I'm aggressively inclusive, is so that people know they're not alone. Holy shit. But even so, even with that in mind, it constantly surprises me how little the people who've known me for years through this medium, how little they know about me. It's almost like there's this effect, this fishbowl thing of being a person on the internet, where they only see the things that they're looking for. Like a queer person comes here and sees this flag, or a bigot comes here and sees this flag, and that's all there is. There's no more person underneath it. It's a very strange feeling.
Yeah. And also, it's also weird because, like, one thing I've noticed is people. I've been online and in huge communities for some time, whether it's here or secular talk, but people will take the side of yourself, because to be honest, we all have a side of ourselves that we show online that we don't necessarily have offline. Like we tend to have a little bit of a persona, but people tend to think what you show online is everything, and it's just not necessarily, especially for a lot of people. There's a side of myself I do not show online.
And that's probably wise. I originally tried to keep my last name to myself. It didn't work out because people who knew just kind of spread it around anyway, to try to keep myself safe. And it just it's a whole thing. I was very silly because one of the places you can follow me, if you go to betterthanumber.com, that's linked, is my Instagram. And I posted on my Instagram where I worked when I still worked there, because the fact that my job was so accepting and welcoming and so forth, or so I thought, it meant a great deal to me, and it meant a great deal to the message I'm constantly trying to spread, that companies and people don't have to be hateful. You can just accept people as people, even if you don't understand why they are the way they are. You don't have to. You can just treat people like people. But by being open with where I worked, that showed the people who would rather I didn't exist where I worked. And that, it turns out, is extremely unsafe. Don't do that. Don't do that ever. It's one of the drawbacks of being a person on the internet, is you have to constantly keep in mind that not all the people who see you have good wishes in your general direction. Some people will just do the keyboard warrior thing and hate you from a distance. And that's part of the price of being on the internet, I suppose, especially in a country where people are aggressively uneducated and violently stupid. But there are people who are going to do more than type. And every so often, you're going to connect with one of those. They'll find your post. They'll be like, oh, a rainbow flag person. I must go stab them to death. You know?
I mean, even me, who on the Secular Talk channel, like, I'm not front facing. He mentions me occasionally. People who've been there for ages know I do like a lot of the behind the scenes stuff. But I've even been recognized in my town, because he's shown my picture on his channel a few times. I've been recognized in my little teeny town as being associated with Secular Talk, which has caused me problems here. And I'm just like, these people will dig for your info sometimes. And it's just leave people alone. Holy crap.
Titan's last name isn't official? What? Oh goodness. Oh goodness. There's an interesting tangent in the chat, and I'm debating whether to take it or not. I think I want to finish the story more, but I'm really tempted. Maybe we'll come back to it. You know what? I will star it so I can find it later, and maybe we'll come back to it. That seems like a good compromise.
If it's the one that I think, I was kind of about to jump on that. I can't resist.
It's a thing. It's a thing. All right, let's continue with our story. Let's see. The holiday reminds us to show up as our authentic selves among friends and family. With openness comes hope that they affirm our queerness rather than just tolerate it. Kip knows what I'm going to say. There is a huge difference between welcoming and tolerating. I've been in so many places where I'm tolerated, where I'm allowed to be, and I know so many of you have the same experience. There is a huge thing between there's community theaters around my parts. This is actually why a couple other queer friends and me founded a nonprofit predicated on the idea of active inclusion of queer people in the arts. Because there's so many theaters run by Christian groups where they're like, we will allow you queer folk, you rainbow mafia in our presence, because we know it's all you theater folks are a little fruity. So if we want to produce art, we have to tolerate you, but we're still going to look down our noses at you and judge you because we have a magic book with a talking snake, and hell.
I was about to say, especially in theater, you think that wouldn't be a problem. Like I
It's
did
unreal.
I did theater for years, and I think just about every leading man that I was cast with was gay. Almost every single one of them. We also had a whole bunch of lesbians. We had a whole bunch of bi people. We had several trans people, all in like this small little theater program. It was really cool. So you would think that it would that theaters would be more accepting.
I mean, the theater side of the theater, but like the administration, it's so wild. So yeah, I started a nonprofit with some other queer friends specifically to be actively inclusive, which is one of the reasons this show is set up the way it is. One of the reasons this channel does what it does is because there is a huge difference between tolerating people and welcoming people, you know? Like to our theist friends in the community, like Adrian, for example. You know, Adrian and I, we disagree on the religion thing. That's fine. But Adrian isn't just tolerated because he happens to be a theist. He's welcome here because he happens to be a good person, at least as far as I know. And that's my default is you're a good person until I learn otherwise, you know? Ay. So with yes, affirming the queerness rather than just tolerating it. Being the Charlie Brownist invites us to outwardly be who we are, not just be accepted, but to respect who we are. Each person's uniqueness enriches the world. And I mean, the author wrote this, but I mean this too. Each person's uniqueness enriches the world. As the great sage Doctor Who once said, I have never met a person who wasn't important, because all of us change history every day. With every choice, with every action, with every decision, we're affecting the world. We're shaping the course of huge history, even if we don't know it, even if we don't see the immediate effects. We all matter. All of us matter a lot more than the fucking Elon Musks do. He's flailing around being a rich person. He can make sweeping changes like getting everyone's Medicare cut, but he can't do things like spur social change, you know, because he's not competent.
He could literally solve world hunger single-handedly and just doesn't do it.
It's it's ass hattery. So yeah, each person's uniqueness enriches the world. What Linus is really saying is, Charlie Brown, you're not just okay. You're exactly who you're meant to be, and we are better because of it. It's great that you're happier. We love to see it. But we are better because of you being who you are. How fucking cool is that? Quote, I never thought it was such a bad little tree. It's not bad at all, really. Maybe it just needs a little love. From Linus. And I feel that too. I remember watching this Christmas special, and as a child, I very strongly identified with Eeyore from the Winnie the Pooh stories. Because I felt that, I mean, first of all, purple, but also I felt that way. Like I saw Tigger and I wished I could be as ridiculous and as excited and as happy and happy-go-lucky and devil may care and bouncy and full of energy and all that shit as Tigger, but I just couldn't because I was Eeyore. Because I saw through the screen of optimism and deliberate ignorance that Tigger had going on, how much shit he had to ignore to feel that way. And also I felt excluded from my friends, from my family, because I was a freak and there was no one else in the world like me, and so on and so forth. And so I very strongly identified with Eeyore. And then when I saw this Christmas special, I related to the tree. Because I felt like a freak, I felt like, this stunted failure of a tree that no one would ever love or appreciate. Get that out of here. Get a real tree in here, that sort of thing. And seeing the characters be like, maybe this tree doesn't suck, actually. It kind of made a big deal for me, So for queer people dismissed as different or told they fall short of normal, this message is spot on. Judgment and attempts to fix perceived flaws are not what's needed. As a gay man, the author writes, I've heard these words too many times, especially stinging during the holidays. The perception of someone's flaws belongs to the observer, not the person being observed. Linus understood this when he stood before Charlie Brown's imperfect little tree. Now, those of you who've been around for a while understand I have a parable about a tree. Maybe I'll get to it later, but I've done it a few different times. But yeah, trees are imperfect, and that's kind of their strength, actually. The tree itself didn't need fixing. It was how others saw it that needed to change. A little love shifts perspective in powerful ways. This applies to those who dismiss queer people. We cannot change who we are, but you can change how you see us. Quote, that's what Christmas is all about, Charlie Brown. It was through empathetic, philosophical Linus that Charles Schulz reframed the reason for the season. Quote, I bring you good tidings of great joy, which shall be to all people. Linus shared a message from this Bible verse that encourages us all, regardless of beliefs, to quiet the noise and embrace joy. In the final scene, with the Peanuts gang gathered around Charlie Brown's tree, the heart of the special comes alive. It calls us to embrace inclusivity and empathy, to celebrate uniqueness, and to reject cruelty, hate, and fear. These are the messages that must endure beyond the season. Queer people yearn for peace and love and kindness, like the Charlie Brown gang. This holiday season, despite its challenges, we can choose to shift our perspective and influence those around us by living out the gang's lessons, by embracing our authentic selves. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I hope y'all see why I wanted to share that story in particular.
Oh, yeah.
As always, I over-prepared. I actually have 4 stories, but that was the most important because it covers... I am the worst. I mean, we could do them all if I speed read. I could, but...
I've come to realize I am the exact opposite of that, is because I'll have, like, tons of plans and tons of ideas in my head, but I will completely forget to write them down or completely forget to prep until, oh crap, my alarm's going off and I have a stream in 5 minutes and I have none of this stuff prepared.
I mean, I can wing a stream. I can improvise. But if I want to do something, if I want there to be a point to it, then I over-prepare. And sadly, that's what I tend to do. I don't really do just shooting the shit streams anymore. Like everything has a purpose to it. In a way, it's a little bit restrictive, but I don't know. Maybe I should revive my second channel and make it a shoot the shit channel so I can like just exist without having to accomplish something.
Sure.
Maybe.
You would think I would be better at improvising a stream considering how many years I spent in theater, and then I also would lecture for like hours and like rattle off these lectures from memory. And yeah, you would think I would be better at it, but I'm apparently very, very, very out of practice.
Well, it's partly practice, it's partly frame of mind. And it's very hard to riff intellectually because there's separate areas of the brain. The creative, let's just wing it kind of thing, very different from we have to access the detailed knowledge in linear order and present it in a way that makes sense kind of, they don't play nice.
No, they don't.
Usually. There is some neuroplasticity to it. But also, this show happens to be a little bit weird because, you know, the only person who's guaranteed to be here is me, right? We could have up to 8 people here at any given moment. Sometimes it's just me. Often it's just me and Lil, or me and Kelly, or sometimes we get lucky and we get both Lil and Kelly, and also sometimes someone else. Bree's been on here, Ryan's been on here, AJ's been on here. I think Jess has dropped by once or twice, for example, you know? So, but because I never know who is going to be here, I have to prepare the show both to do the whole thing by myself, but also to accommodate other people and make sure their perspectives are also brought forward. Because, like I keep saying, it's not just about me. It's about us. It's about the community. And that, friends, is why the channel is called Better Than Ember. Because while I try to be a better Ember every day, what is better than just Ember is all of us. Do you like that? I just improvised that on the spot. You like that?
I like that.
I named the channel 3 years ago. It literally is because I was trying to be a better version of myself. And I hope I continue to do that. Holy shit, I've become a much better Ember than I was then. But like, I like that symbolism. I'm like, my brain came up with it in the moment, and I'm like, that is actually true, because I really believe that our strength is our diversity. We should all be as kind and as intelligent and as educated and as careful and as patient and as fierce to fight for what matters as we can be individually. But together, it's unbelievable. As I'm constantly pointing out, people say I know a lot, and I tend to believe them because there's a lot of them and they would know better than me. Both of those are fallacies, by the way. But like, I learned so much from so many people in the community, and even the people who think they don't know much, or they're not very good critical thinkers, or whatever the case may be, every single one of them has something I can learn. But more importantly, every single person has something they know that I don't know, or something they'll think of that I won't think of, because it's not the way I think. The diversity gives us the ability to see things from different perspectives than we can see. It gives us the ability to understand things from different points of view, from different experiences than we can experience. And, you know, a blind spot definitionally is something you're not aware of. By having more people, we can see into those blind spots. By being a community, by trusting each other, and by working together, we're so much more powerful together. There's that old parable about how 2 heads are better than 1, and that's great as far as it goes. But here's the thing. Any one of us can do marvelous things. We can build things. We can design things. We can create things. We can telepathically transmit our thoughts to hundreds or thousands, or potentially, theoretically anyway, millions of people. But it only takes 2 of us, with the right conditions to be sure, but 2 of us to create an entirely additional living being who also has those same superpowers to affect the world. That's what 2 of us can do. If you get 6 of us together, if you get a dozen of us together, if you get 100 of us together, we can change worlds. And that's fucking amazing.
You have 6, a dozen, 100. I was about to say that room's going to be pretty crowded.
I mean, you know, the reason I went with 100 is because so there've been studies that's considered the optimal mix, minimum group. It's weird. It's like, it's the largest group that can exist together for long periods of time without murdering each other, but it's the smallest group that has a potential for semi-stable genetic diversity if they start reproducing. Like you can get 3 or 4 generations before you start running into inbreeding problems. Potentially.
Yeah, we don't need Habsburgs running around in small groups.
Like you are still going to need new genes eventually, but you can start things moving with 100. Oh. Ay. For a second, I thought mid-computer scientist said, did Pennsylvania legalize cannibals? And that would be interesting. Oh goodness. Alrighty, folks. Normally we quit at 90 minutes for various reasons, several reasons. But today we're going right up until Ryan starts at 1 p.m. Eastern time, so that there's a smooth handoff with no gap in between. If you are taking off now for whatever reason, there's stuff going on in real life, or you need a sandwich, or whatever the case may be, thank you for joining us. But if you don't have to leave, we're not wrapping up just yet. So don't feel like you're being chased away. We'll do that later.
Kip keeps wanting to pop up. She's right here, so.
Of course she is. Dog-shaped Kip. For anyone wondering, yeah.
I totally have to plug this. Although Kelly did some, I sent her photos because I have like one picture of me at Christmas, but so I sent her a bunch of photos to do like a Christmas intro for our stream, and sent her pictures of the dogs that are all like dressed up as Santa. It is the cutest thing I have ever seen. It like the AI nailed them directly, but there's pictures of me in there that are AI, and I'm like, that looks so much better than me. What's going on here? But yeah, you definitely want to see that. That intro is awesome.
Maybe it's because I was a professional photographer for so long. I can tell edited photos. I can tell which software was used to edit them, and often which specific processes were used. It's a lot of experience, you know, so you pick up shit like that. But because of that, I can usually spot an AI image instantly because it's clearly not a photograph. And there's a few different tells that you can get into, that you can break down. But on the surface, it's just obviously not a photo, you know?
Yeah, and the funny thing about mine is obviously the AI can't reproduce my tattoos. So like there's one where it's like a low cut, like it's a low cut shirt. There's no tattoo right here. And it's just like I still go across pictures of me before I had all my tattoos, and I'm like, what's off about this? It takes me a second to realize, oh, no tattoos.
That means I need to get a chest tattoo, doesn't it? So that it'll be easy for people to identify, you know, fake ember imagery, because there's such a huge market for fake ember imagery, you know.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, in actuality, though, I wound up, somebody posted something that had something to do with me on the website formerly known as Twitter, and a transphobe, the very first person to respond was, Grok, redraw this person as a nude fat person. Like the very first thing was to try to make an AI image of me nude. It didn't work. Grok came back with a copy of the same picture, basically. But like, fucking hell, these fucking weird pervs. My goodness.
Yeah.
So, yeah, having a way to tell authentic ember might be useful. And to that end, I have this tattoo here. I have a pentagram, or a pentacle rather, on the center of my back, and I have these words on my arm that read, "Take what you can." I'm thinking about getting more. Try not to die would go well over here, but that's what I've got for right now. So if you see images of ember with different tattoos, that's not real ember. Just putting that out there. Or lack of those tattoos, as the case may be. Ay. All right, the tangent I wanted to mention. And I'm so tempted to do at least one other story, because there's one I really, really want to get to. But the tangent I was talking about was Paddington says, Lil, before Jesus and Judaism, it was common to sacrifice children. The world has improved indeed, not perfect, but improved is evident. Yes, but it's not because of Judaism and Christianity necessarily, or well, Jesus and Judaism, as you put it. For one thing, Judaism absolutely did have child sacrifice. That's what Christianity is, in fact, is the idea of God practicing child sacrifice himself. Oops. But but never mind that. But also, do you have any idea how many times the various emperors and popes have tried to outlaw people sacrificing their children as good Christians over the centuries? My grandmother grew up with women who got pregnant, and because they couldn't access legal abortion, just chucked their babies in the woods. Death by exposure. Because there wasn't an alternative. And granted, that's not quite the same as sacrificing a child to your God. The reason it was necessary is because of religious assholes making stupid laws to try to control people's bodies in the name of the God. There is something to be said on the plus side for Christianity. Some philosophers have put forward a hypothesis that the spread of Christianity to the Western Hemisphere, even though it had huge costs, the colonists, the diseases, the capitalism, etc., hundreds of millions dead, but Christianity may have been a net good if you exempt Christianity being responsible for all those other things, because there were several cultures, the Aztecs in particular, with their bloodthirsty Mexica cult. By replacing their religion that involved frequent human sacrifice with this idea of Christianity, where one person's sacrifice that was already done made it unnecessary to do any other human sacrifice. In a way, it helped liberate people from even worse superstitious ideals. Perhaps. So a case could be made. But c'est la vie.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that you said reminded me of something. Heat to Rosa, I think it's on Kip's channel. But basically, if there's something that people would not think to do, or they're not willing to do it, it's not in the culture, it's just something that wouldn't cross their mind, you don't need to make a law about it. They're just not gonna do it. Ugh.
We used to make laws for good reasons. Now we do it just to be cruel. But whatever. C'est la vie. All right. I will try to do one more story, one that I especially wanted to get to. And as it happens, this story involves bathrooms. And bathrooms, as you may know, do not necessarily have the best water. In fact, your tap water may not be the best water. So the good news is, on this merry, happy Christmas made of capitalism, we can help with that. Hey folks, I've been working hard on my health, and so far I've lost over 140 pounds. A huge part of good health is hydration. That's why I'm thrilled to partner with Epic Water Filters. Check this out. Not only can you say goodbye to expensive bottled water, but these filters are made in the US, so no tariffs, and they're made to fit your life. From these lovely pitchers I can fill from, to sink units, to portable filters that fit in your reusable bottle. With Epic, I can refill from nature's water sources and not have to worry about bacteria and whatnot. But also, send back a used filter to be responsibly recycled, and they'll send you a free replacement, saving you and the earth even more. Want to save a ton of money, be healthier, and build a better world? Head to epicwaterfilters.com and enter code EMBER15 at checkout for 15% off. Don't settle for random water. Upgrade to Epic. Huzzah!
Mhm.
And also, I've been doing a lot of talking, and so sometimes it's helpful to have a little break so I can, I mean, I've been sipping when I can, but like, it's a thing. It's
Yeah,
a thing.
I get it.
All right. So there are a couple of really good stories. Like there's one about taking back traditions, like we were talking about earlier, about the concept that there is no part of Christmas that is Christian. It's all pagan traditions.
Mhm.
And so you shouldn't feel bad about celebrating it and being like, oh, I don't believe in this Christian bullshit. It's just tradition, it's just culture, it's just family time, whatever. You don't have to feel bad about it because they're not celebrating the things these traditions are for either. No, there's no Christian running around going, oh, I feel so bad about not praising Odin. It's just tradition. It's fine.
Yeah, it drives me nuts when they'll say something like, well, I've literally gotten this from somebody I personally know. Well, you obviously still believe in the Christian faith because you celebrate Christmas. No.
I'd argue
change.
that celebrating Christmas means a person doesn't believe in the Christian faith. Because remember, the only people who've ever banned celebrating Christmas were Christians.
Puritans.
Because it's not biblical. Weird, right? How Christmas isn't in the Bible? Here's another fun fact. Reading the Bible, not in the Bible.
Mhm. It reminds me of in England when the Puritans were taking over, there was actually a law saying that you had to keep your store open on Christmas Day. Of course, most of the population was not following that, so they had men go around and make sure that all the stores were open. And then after they went around, it would have usually the town would have like another group of guys that would go around and close all the stores again. It's just like, oh my god, guys. It's Christmas, who cares?
We're going to enforce holidays or lack thereof. My goodness. And computer scientist says Odin doesn't want praise. Odin wants soldiers for Ragnarok. It's true. Okay. Yes. We can probably get this story done. Probably. All right.
Maybe.
So it begins. Ugh. No hand soap. Again. If there's one thing living in Spain will teach you, it's that hand washing isn't priority numero uno in public spaces. Luckily, as someone who grew up here, the author writes, this is no surprise to me. As Gang Starr once said, I'm not new to this, I'm true to this. In other words, I carry soap sheets wherever I go. As I was washing my hands in the shopping mall bathroom last week, the door cracked open and a head peeked around. A big brown eyes appeared from under a blunt-cut fringe. A smattering of adolescent acne decorated soft, rounded cheeks, and a set of metallic braces twinkled between pink, glossy lips. Either retro makeup is back in style, or rubbing my hands together had sent me ricocheting back into the mid-'80s. We regarded each other for a moment. ¿Puedo pasar? May I come in? Her delicate, childlike voice softly penetrated the silence of the empty bathroom. Sí, claro. Of course. And as always, forgive my accent, folks. I'm a badly educated American. I smiled and gestured to the vacant stalls and the rows of mirrored sinks behind me. I wondered if she mistakenly believed from the outside that this was a single-person bathroom, or maybe she thought I was a cleaner. It wouldn't be the first time a Spaniard had seen my complexion and automatically assumed I was the help. Otherwise, I was a little perplexed as to why she would ask. She hesitated slightly as she stepped around the door. Bueno, es que Soy trans. Well, it's just that I'm trans. What I'm about to say may sound strange to some, but here goes. The ladies' bathroom plays a surprisingly significant role in girlhood. I'm not talking about grandma's house with its peach-colored wall tiles and clamshell dish soap, nor soap dish. My dyslexia got me. Soap is not the same as a soap dish, nor the one where you dealt with your first period or made a clumsy first attempt at shaving your legs. Nor am I referring to the ones in the fancy restaurants where you go to check your appearance on a date and freshen up with their expensive sandalwood toiletries. Ooh, you get sandalwood? I'm talking about the public toilets that double up as makeshift community hubs for women. Grubby social sinkholes you find in nightclubs, in bars, in airports that offer a brief moment of tranquility as the commotion fades to a muffle behind a closing door. Restrooms with precarious toilet seats, broken flushes, and "love yourself, babe, you're perfect" scribbled in eyeliner on the inside of the stall. For those of you listening along, there's a photo of a woman handing a pad to another woman. I'm willing to bet that anyone who has used a public ladies' room has had at least one memorably positive encounter with someone they've met inside. What's so special about it? I hear you cry. Men have bathrooms too, and nobody bats an eyelid. If anything, the less said about those, the better. On a functioning level, nothing at all. In fact, the ladies' very often sucks in comparison to the men's. It's a victim of long queues, scarce toilet paper, and the most unflattering lighting known to man. Or not known to man, since men can't come in, but never mind. However, we're not talking about serviceability. If we were, we wouldn't have a leg to stand on. What I'm referencing is much deeper than that, much more visceral. I once undid a drunken stranger's bodysuit in a nightclub bathroom so she could relieve herself before going back out to tear up the dance floor. If you've any idea what a bodysuit is and where its fastening is located, you'll understand why that's a tall order. I've witnessed countless girls take drinks inside and then leave them unattended by the sink without any concerns over getting roofied. There's always someone giving an empowering pep talk to a broken-hearted friend who needs a boost of confidence. Blister plasters, boob tape, tampons are handed out like Werther's Originals at a Women's Institute meeting. Not that we do that anymore either. Pleasant conversation dapples the air. Strangers become new best friends. Outfits are readjusted, hair is coiffed, perfume is shared, and doors with faulty locks are guarded to prevent accidental walk-ins. Those who are desperate are permitted to jump the line. It's where the power of sorority is comfortably displayed. The girls' bathroom is one of the few places where female vulnerability isn't preyed upon. Conversely, it's often bolstered and allowed to exist without any need for justification. Sure, it's where you go when nature calls, but it also acts as a cocoon-like environment, somewhere you can retreat when you want to feel safe. So a person might ask, Nat, the author, Nat, why are you waxing lyrical about the loo? Well, I'm glad you asked, because Nat replies. She says, well, because this recent encounter with this young trans girl brought about a bracing realization for me. A conventional woman with an uncomplicated identity who fits comfortably within the margins of the archetype. Archetype. That's another one of those words that I learned how to say different from how to read. That's old lore. I'm not going to break it down. If you're new, watch some back episodes. They're great, I promise. But we're not doing it right now. I realized the person peeking her head around the door wasn't merely asking for permission to enter the room. She was asking for permission to belong. She was giving me the power to accept or reject her appeal to exist freely in a space that for people like me is a place of comfort, and for people like her is commonly associated with hostility and consternation. The alignment of my biological sex and gender identity affords me the confidence to take up space in social settings where others with less streamlined identities may feel reluctant. Of course, uncertainty is a perfectly natural phenomenon in adolescence. Kids are constantly trying to make sense of themselves and explore how and where they best fit in a world governed by grown-ups. And this kid, who looked to be some 14 or 15 years old, is no different. However, this situation was unique because it didn't focus on the implicit social hierarchy that comes with a significant age gap. This wasn't just a child asking an adult for permission to do something. Instead, our respective positions on the spectrum of womanhood forced us to weigh up the other's existence. It was as though she believed that within a shared space, her identity would encroach on mine. So announcing that she was trans and verbally acknowledging our differences would help me to legitimize her humanity some. She asked me if she could come in because there may have been a chance that I wouldn't have wanted her to. And that is devastating to me.
Yeah.
So what, kiddo?
I mean,
Go ahead.
I was about to say it's not hard to accept people as they are. It's just not. Like, it actually takes a lot more effort to not do so.
Yeah, just if you don't understand, just let people exist. You don't have to care. You don't have to judge. People don't need your approval to exist, so please don't feel obligated to approve or reject every other person you meet. What an exhausting life that must be. Holy
No
shit.
kidding.
I can't even do the sentence. I'll try. Bueno dia, que mada pasa. So what, kiddo? Come on in. I headed over to the hand dryer. Ay, muchas gracias. I can kind of do that one with an Italian accent. It's fine. She smiled sweetly and walked past me in her fishnet tights and patent Doc Martens. Teenager fashion, trans girl fashion. I have to admit, I knew going into it, my sense of fashion was going to suck for at least a couple of years. I'm probably still there, but the only way to get good is to start bad, you know?
Yeah. Nobody starts off an expert in anything.
Also, it's kind of fun doing the ridiculous things that you know future you will be. You don't know which things are the ridiculous things future you is going to cringe about, but doing the ridiculous things future you is going to cringe about now while you have the chance, because you will cringe about them later. Transphobia is not an alien concept in countries that operate under organized religion or have a traditional set of social values, such as Spain. Vox, a prominent far-right political party in Spain, has been consistently vocal about its disdain towards transgender people and its desire to prevent their access to base-level human rights. Transgender people are bullied and vilified and persecuted by conservative political parties and their followers all across the nation. I suspect some of y'all know that this applies to more than just Spain. Adults berating others is one thing, but what happens when this toxic, nefarious behavior trickles down the totem pole and falls upon the shoulders of children? There is a saying, los niños son sagrados. Children are sacred. It is a phrase you see and hear typically in response to mistreatment of children in any form. Children are revered in Hispanic culture, as well as a few others. At least on the surface, on paper. If a child gets raped by a priest, well, what was she wearing? So it's a very limited respect for children, but never mind that for now. So why was this particular child so acutely aware of the controversy surrounding her identity? Shouldn't the innocence we try so hard to preserve in children include trans children too? Shouldn't she be able to exist as comfortably as her peers do? Had I voiced an issue with her coming into the bathroom, there is no doubt in my mind she would have turned away and left. And that's what bothered the hell out of me. It upset me that she felt the need to even mention it. Because who am I? I'm not important. I have no authority over public spaces or gender identity whatsoever. I don't care what people do in the privacy of a bathroom stall. I don't stop to intimidate them or to pass judgment. I'm just a stranger washing her hands at the sink. But luckily for this girl, I'm a kind stranger, someone whose cup of compassion and understanding runneth over. The fact that she felt the need to ask stirred up feelings of pity and rage in equal measure. It disgusts me that this harmless individual possibly has and probably will experience social repudiation at the hands of narrow-minded losers who mind other people's business more than their own. As if growing up isn't already fraught with insecurity and a heightened awareness of your differences from others. Being a teenager in today's world is like wandering into the seventh circle of hell with gasoline shorts on. Sure, the world is a big, scary place, but the girl's bathroom is something else entirely, and it should stay that way. I felt a wave of protectiveness wash over me as I thought about how she must feel on a regular basis. Physically, she was a long-lived, lofty, yet she seemed so small and defenseless. A kid, just figuring herself out, one day at a time. When she came into the sink area, she told me she liked my outfit. I told her that I had my own clothing line and was wearing one of my newest designs. I offered her a soap sheet and asked her about her makeup. Her parents had bought her a Kiko eyeshadow palette for her birthday recently. I've never been any good with eyeshadow. She doesn't go a day without it. So there we were, just two gals chopping it up in the girls' bathroom, enjoying pleasant conversation with someone we'll probably tell our mums about before returning to the monotony of our everyday affairs. I suppose that these are the situations we need more of. Just witnessing humans being humans and doing human things. So often, bigots behave as though they're prejudiced towards the people they're prejudiced towards are some sort of subhuman entity that needs to be exterminated to restore a sense of harmony and order to the world. In reality, we're all just people trying to get by, trying to get on with things before we shuffle off this mortal coil once our number is up. Coexisting peacefully really isn't as complicated as it's made out to be. Being kind to others is far from difficult. We're all different, and that's fine. It doesn't need to be fire and brimstone and bloodbaths and battalions. So when you meet someone different from you, just share the soap. Don't work yourself into a lather over it.
Yeah.
I told you we could finish that one.
Yay! Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that, yeah, me growing up, I've had guy friends and everybody say, "What is the deal with girls in the bathroom?" And yeah, she nails it.
Mm-hmm. It was put. Now, my experiences have been somewhat limited. Partly because I've only been out for a couple of years, and partly because of stuff with work and stuff with political stuff and all sorts of stuff. Lots of stuff. A lot of the bathrooms I've used have been single serve. So I never got a lot of those experiences. But even so, just beginning to read that article, I thought of instantly a half dozen times in a truck stop bathroom where some woman would look over at me and I'd be like, oh shit, are we about to have a problem? And then she'd look again. And I'd feel a little nervous. I'd feel, tighten up and that pit of worry in my stomach. And then she'd say, I'm sorry, but is that glitter nail polish?
Yeah.
Why, yes, it is. Coincidentally, that's what I have today.
Yeah, I don't even bother putting on nail polish. My nails grow so fast. It's like it's ruined 12 hours later because it's all chipping and going everywhere.
I mean, it's
Mm-hmm.
it's this like she said in the article, it's this bond of womanhood where it's like sorority first. So like there's supposed to be this underlying assumption that no one is a threat to anyone else in that space. And that's why so many people are so mad at the TERFs who have made it exclusive, who have made it a threat for anybody who's gender nonconforming of any kind. Oh, your skin is too brown. Oh, your boobs are too small. Oh, your hips aren't too wide. Oh, you're not wearing enough pink. Whatever the case may be, I need to check in your pants before you're allowed into my restroom. It's disgusting, but it's worse than that because it's destroying something that it goes beyond culture. It goes beyond religion or ideology or outlook or any of that stuff, because any woman can go into a woman's room and ask, hey, do you have a spare tampon? And no one will look at you like you have 5 heads or be like, do I know you? It's a different sort of space. It's a different sort of experience, and it is essential to understanding womanhood.
I mean, it's like what they said is, even there's not a woman that doesn't have some positive story. I remember several years ago, I had to ask a woman for a tampon, and she's like, "Do you need my doll too?" I'm just like, "Oh my god, yes." I mean, it's this whole like communing with women, and for people to try to exclude some of the most vulnerable women who would use the bathroom there is absolutely absurd. Just, we're women. Like, stick together, guys. Like, this is not hard.
And that very attitude, incidentally, is how I know we're going to defeat this latest wave of bigotry, because it's exactly the same bullshit that was tried on lesbians in the 80s and 90s, that was tried on black women in the 60s and 70s. It just, they keep trying it on different minorities, and it never fucking works, because women always get in front of those bigots and hold the door open for the other women every time.
Yeah.
And that is what is fucking cool about being a woman. All right, that brings us up to just about time.
Yay!
Good job, us. I do want to thank everybody who sent a super chat and assorted things today, because that helps a lot, and I very much appreciate it. But also because y'all are cool beans participating in the community and whatnot. So I will run through those real quick. Jenny started us off with $1.99 saying Christmas sucks but never swallows. Mad Computer Scientist for $2.56 said Lebanon bologna, potato bread for all. Hell yeah. Jester sent us $5 saying, or is a sandwich a taco? Why are we preferring the European invention when the other is probably older? Either way, Merry Crimsbus ya goofs. Maya sent us a $3 super sticker with a Dancy lemon. Hell yeah. And Claire, I hope I said, I thought I did. I meant to. I'm sorry if I didn't. But Clairview, who will also be on the relay race later on, sent a $2 super chat saying, Merry, Merry Ember. Yay. And thank all of you for being here. As once again, this is my job right now. I appreciate you being here, supporting, etc. If you're poor like me, I understand. There are free ways to help support what we're doing here. There's the like button, there's the subscribe button, and most importantly, there's the share button, because the algorithm is sure not going to show these videos to anyone else. You sending it to people is the only way people ever see it. Sending it to yourself tells the algorithm to boost it. It is the most powerful button on YouTube, and it's the most underutilized. So if you would be so kind as to tap that thing too while you're down there clicking around. And also, speaking of supporters, we have closing credits. This stream will take you over to Ryan's. If it doesn't, there's a link pinned at the top of the chat. Continue right along with the ongoing relay race. We will see you again tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern. I will see you sooner than that on Job and Jugs and at 9 a.m. Eastern for Christmas Day festivities. And as always, remember, you don't have to exclude people because you don't understand who they are or why they are the way they are. In the same way, they probably don't understand why you're the way you are. Because you are better than bigotry, hatred, exclusion, all the other nonsense, and especially religion. Good night. Thanks to all our patrons and top-level members for November. Miranda, Karen Butcher, Jessica the Trans Metal Alchemist, Robin Webster, Maya Adkisson, Jimmy Tux, Ian Chen, Lilith, Ember Lynn, The Barely Bearable Atheist, Eric Wander, Jason Jacoby, Godless Engineer, Jester, Lil of All Trades, Deviant Outcast, Kelly King, the Detroit Atheist Queen, The Mighty Filbert, and Secular Phalanist. And you can add your name here next month by signing up at patreon.com/betterthanember, or by joining Emberships here on YouTube at the Cinder level, which also includes all the custom emojis, tons of member-exclusive content, member-only live streams, and a bunch of other stuff. I deeply appreciate all the supporters who keep this channel going. Thank you all so much. Because of you, we're building a wonderful community that I'm very proud of.
Just like a spark that's breaking out, can't make a stop, can't turn back now. We know that there's no